Birds, eh? They never run out of words. The bird is the word is a bird, a bird is a word. What? How's that go?
Train the muscles, not the joints.
Cat hair gains. Coming to a gym near you. Send $59.95 for a couple cat hairs at naturalgallantbodybuilding.com. I have unlimited supply right now, so get your cat hair now. $59.95. Mountain. So welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and today I just had another question in the comments because I get questions, and this helps me, come up with ideas in order to talk to you guys about training and fitness, because you know what? A lot of times I don't know what to talk about. So thanks for your questions. Thanks for your guys' input, and thanks for commenting on the videos and liking and sharing with your friends and family and your pets, because your pets might like training too. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about stimulating the muscles, but in a holistic sort of sense, because I find a lot of people have compartments going on where they say, hey, why don't I fit every single thing I can think of in a workout, and then somehow that will be better than me just concentrating on strength or strength endurance or endurance work, and somehow if I put it all into one big soup, that somehow it's going to be better. Like it's going to be a better type of training program. And you could go crazy with this. I mean, like say you do strength training, why not just do like super heavy squats and heavy deadlifts, and then get into the hypertrophy sets of doing like 20 sets of just sets of 30 reps or whatever, and then go for a 10-mile jog. Like why don't you do all that? You know what I'm saying? Like we know that combining everything is going to have its limitations. Mostly because there's energetic limitations and systemic limitations that go on. So you do also know that if you train really heavy and then you run a lot at the same time or do a cardio type of activity, there's a point to where you're adapting the body to two different types of stimulus, and there's going to be a bit of a tug of war between the two, right? Where if you're doing this type of training and that type of training, the body's going to find that mean or that average adaptation to both sports. It's not going to say, okay, I got to be a drag car, right? Have like a V12 or some sort of 1,000 horsepower engine to go from 0 to 60 in like 1 second. It's not going to do that because it's saying, hey, I got to do a long distance race, so I got to basically adapt the body to that. So I know this is an extreme example of running a marathon and then doing, 1,000-pound squats or whatever in the same workout. That is an extreme example that I'm trying to point out just to make it obvious to you that once we start to get closer and closer together between endurance and strength, there still is an adaptation that happens. There still is an average adaptation. So you're not purely just lifting heavy weights and working that nervous system and the tissue. You're also, as a bodybuilder, you're also doing hypertrophy work, which is some endurance work, but not so much endurance that it's cardio endurance. It's more muscular endurance, right? So there's gonna be a happy medium between the two. Now let's also look at an individual workout. If you're doing a workout where you're doing heavy weights, and you're basically saying to the body, I need you to adapt to lifting the heavy weights, and then you go into endurance sets all the time, you are sending the body a certain signal or message. And it might be the message you want to send it. I'm not saying it isn't, because as bodybuilders, like I said, it is a combination of strength and strength endurance. But it is helpful to specialize in certain workouts from time to time to, one, prevent from burning out. That's the most important thing. And two, to really focus your energy on the weak link in your physique or in your body at the time. If you're doing 10 sets of strength training for a specific exercise, and then you have to go do a bunch of endurance work after, there's going to be a certain amount of energy you have to reserve, or there's energy left over for you to do those other sets, right? So if one was super focused on the strength training, they'd take all the energy that they have, every single last bit, and put it all into the strength training. They wouldn't waste it on the endurance training in that workout, and they would basically be telling the body it needs to get stronger, right? And the same thing with endurance. If you want to do more hypertrophy training, you just train purely hypertrophy, or mostly that, and just kick the crap out of those muscle fibers and send the message that they need to grow, right? There has to be some strength endurance going on there, and you would just go set after set after set after set, and you use all your energy towards that. So these are types of stimulus. These are stimulating the body in a certain way. They're sending a certain message to the body. So when you say, I'm going to combine everything together in the same workout, that is a different message. I'm not saying it isn't useful to do from time to time, but to say that it's the same as doing individual workouts would not necessarily be the truth. At least that's what I found, right? because like I said, you're addressing different weak links, and when you really focus and really power through an individual training technique or a way of training, whether it's in power or whether it's in strength endurance, when you hyper focus on that, there's a greater possibility of you breaking plateaus in that area at that time. So you don't want to make your bodybuilding journey or your lifting journey into a glorified CrossFit training program. You don't remember that, right? CrossFit's like trying to combine everything all at once, and of course is snapola. You know what I'm saying? Like let's combine gymnastics with lifting, and at the same time, do some endurance work in between, and fatigue some of those muscles that are necessary for stabilizing the spine, and then snap something, right? It's kind of like that. This type of thinking I'm talking about is kind of in alignment with that, except on a smaller level, right? So I do believe in doing heavy strength workouts and then repping out after. You can do that, but at the same time, it doesn't always have to be combined. That's really my point of this video, is that when you say, I'm just going to concentrate purely on strength today, there's nothing wrong with that. And you may have more energy to push through an extra few sets or have that intensity that you need in order to break through some sort of plateau or to lift heavier than usual, and to make sure that you're perfectly stabilized and that nothing is fatigued in the wrong way. So that way you are safer when you are lifting that heavy weight. And then there are days where you just need to energetically just concentrate on going through that burn, just break through that burn barrier, and you're doing the hypertrophy day, right? So I think it's good to isolate those days. And then it's also good to have the hybrid workouts where you combine them together. And each one is sending an overall message to the body of how it should adapt and what it should get better at. Deep thoughts. So I hope this helps out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you need to get hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com. And thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Mountain.